am Lou Mongello. I am the host and producer of WDW Radio. It's an audio podcast and video show when I do live events, and I'm also the author of the Walt Disney World trivia books and the audio tours of Walt Disney World. The Kool-Aid was served up very early on in my life. I was really fortunate. I lived in New Jersey, but in November of 1971, when I was 3, we went down to Disney for the first time, and we drove down every year. Even if Disney wasn't our final destination, we always came down to Disney World, and my fascination just began to grow as I started to get older and start to read more and learn more and want to sort of find out what it was that kept us coming back all the time. Because we went so often, it's hard for me to sort of pick out what that first memory was. Mm-hmm. I do remember being on Main Street and going to the magic shop and being in Tomorrowland with my dad, but I don't know if that was trip 1 or trip 20. I'm actually the father of 2 kids. My daughter first went when she was about 9 months old. Not because I expected her to remember it, but we wanted to go, right? And my kids are very portable at that time. But I think what happens too is when you bring them at a very young age, they start to respond to the sounds, to the music, to the colors of the parade going by. So I have pictures of my daughter very much paying attention to what's going on. And I think it also starts to, I don't mean in a bad way, but sort of desensitize them to the music and the fireworks and these big characters, walking around with, big furry. Whereas if you start introducing it to them late, well, maybe it is a little bit scary because it's something that is a brand new type of experience. So we weaned them in very early and made sure we didn't miss a Disney trip along the way too. So, but those first couple of times I took my daughter, who was born first, and I saw her face and I saw her reaction, and we've got these pictures. You appreciate and you experience the parks in a whole new way, because no longer is it about you. It's all about them. And it's not about the rides. Okay, maybe it's a little bit about the food, but for the most part, it's about seeing how they react and respond to things. And it's fascinating to watch me as a parent, and then now I watch other parents and how they relate to children. And personally, I say this to people all the time. If you've never done it before, whether it's Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you need to go to the Magic Kingdom and sit there for the welcome show. And you watch all these dads, these big, macho, muscular guys, just weeping because their daughters are dressed like princesses, and they're like agape as they're watching this go on. It's fascinating to see how you as a parent experience it completely differently watching them. And I think that there are times where you start to turn that 12 to 14 to 16, whatever it is, and yeah, maybe it was too cool, to be hanging out with your parents or going down to Disney World. But I think an interesting thing has happened in that it's starting to be cool to go to Disney. Now all of a sudden, it's a spring break destination, right? It's where kids are going with their friends. And that's what I did. I started going down with my friends when I was in college and high school and dating people and things like that. So I never had that. I never had the I'm too cool thing. My love of Disney stems from the memories I have going with my family. So I never really had. That being said, there was some times like, all right, I need to go off on my own and, do my own thing. But it's Disney World. So you realize your kids can't go anywhere. It's the safest place for them to go off on their own. So I like the sort of the freedom that Disney gives you in that regard. There are some people, I think, that don't like Disney, or they say they don't like Disney because, number one, Disney's a very easy target, right? When you have a big company like that, it becomes a very easy target. It's easy to hate something for one reason or another. Maybe it's the cool thing to do. Maybe they have never been before. Or I think there's also a perception of Disney that, Disney's just for kids. It's Cinderella and it's Dumbo. And they don't realize that there's a lot for college kids and adults and couples and older people to do as well. So I know those people are out there, but I try and surround myself with positive people, and I avoid the negativity as much as I can. There are worse things to spend your money on than Disney. There's a worse vice to have than collecting Disney stuff or going down to Disney World. And I'm sure you know people that this is where they vacation, right? Every year they go all the time, and their friends are like, again with the Disney? Go to Aruba, go to Europe. But it's such it's a simple, innocent pleasure that I think we who do get it, we don't mind spending, or we almost, to a certain degree, look forward to spending our money on Disney because we have a level of expectation about what the experience is going to be or what the return is going to be. And, my 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea sub-replica was a total thing I didn't need, but there's something comforting about seeing that up on the shelf. So, yes, it's a very expensive